Hey everyone, welcome back to Bros Having Convos. Today we have a special guest with us today. We have the one and only Joshua Cruzada.
Hello. There.
This is our longtime friend Joshua Cruzada. We've known each other since I was like 13 years old. We've known each other for a long time.
It's like a very long time. 11 years ago now, I think.
Yes, yeah. 11 years.
11 years. So he's basically a bro. And we're going to have a convo with him.
So, yes. So, I'm just going to hand it over to Tim. Oh, well, I'm Wes.
I'm Tim.
And we are going to be talking about the topic that Tim's going to talk about. So, introduce it.
So the first topic that we're going to be, or the topic of this video that we're going to be talking about is things that we wish we knew at 13 years old.
It's a good topic.
So just like how I said in the beginning of the video, I've known Joshua since I was 13. At least I was 13. How about you, Tim? How old were you, Tim? Probably like,
I was like
10,
12, 10, 11, 12 probably.
So let's just start with that. So what would you guys have wished you known at 13 years old? Who wants to go first?
Because I have it written down, I'll go first. Definitely one of the things that I wish I knew, or things I did when I was 13 years old, I would have worked out a lot more. Because I'm like skinny, like a little skeleton here, and I definitely wish that I worked out and was a little bit more active in just exercising, especially like when I was 18 years old. It took advantage of my body at that time, just being able to push myself further and make more progress in a shorter amount of time. And I definitely wished I was exercising a lot more. I was lazy. I was playing Minecraft at that
time, so I was playing Legend of Zelda.
I was 7 into Bakugan, so
Yeah. No, what we were into was like Kendama.
Oh yeah.
And
7 years old. I was 7 years old. 11 years.
Well,
when you were 13, I was 11 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was 7 years old.
11 years old.
Yeah, for me, when I was 13, that's actually that's when I started working out.
Yeah.
But for me, I felt like the world revolved around me, and I felt like I knew everything and how everything works. And I felt like, I was right and everyone else that was telling me otherwise was wrong. And I just feel like, as a 13-year-old, obviously you're going to have your own opinions and stuff, but I think I wish I had a more open mind and accepted what other people said more compared to, thinking I was right 100% of the time.
Yeah, because when you're young, you think you're invincible. You think you're right. You think you're like you're the bomb.com, kind of thing. So it's understandable.
I don't know about you guys, but I actually didn't feel that way.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know, because if you guys do remember how it was. I was basically a loser, when I was younger, at 13 years old. Yeah, I think I had I had at 13 years old. I think I had the emo haircut, the phase the long hair.
Oh yeah.
That you just don't cut. That basically every guy goes through. Yep. I think
definitely
long hair phase.
Yeah.
I had long hair. I mean, I still have long hair, right? But
Same.
At least now I style it and stuff. But back then, it was just like that.
just straight
a rock star.
Just goth or something. Yeah. But I at least for me, when I was 13, I just wish I knew what I was capable of at that time. Because when you're young, you tend to think that your life is set for you based on what your parents think, or what just in general, right? You think at that point you have everything figured out, but a lot of times, I'm pretty sure 99% of the time, you don't. You're 13 years old. You're barely in high school. You barely experience life. I think at the point when you're 13, 14, 15, high school, pretty much, you don't have a great grip of like reality and how everyday life is as an adult
And how the world
and
works.
how the world works. Because me right now as a 23-year-old, it's like everything I learned as a youngin, it's not that it doesn't apply. It's just I know so much more now that I look back at my 13-year-old self. I'm like, yo, you're gonna learn some crazy things.
Yep.
You're gonna learn so much more than what you know right now. So get on it, you know.
Yeah, I think like also just knowing, like, I feel like the way that I lived like life as like a child basically is like not just knowing like our standards of what we have to live up to and just being good enough, just like, oh yeah, that's all, as long as I get there, then it's okay, then I'm good, but then not pushing past that.
Yeah. And I think when you are 13, I mean, at least for me, I really didn't care about, the future. I was just going, living life how I was, whether it be, playing video games or just, messing around with my brothers. Like, currently I'm 18. Obviously, I'm trying my best to, set up my future and this and that. But when I was 13, you don't do any of that stuff, You're more so like, just going about life. And I feel like, well, I do think that you should, kind of, I guess prepare yourself for, the future. I do believe that, time is precious, and like those times that I spent when, with these guys or, with my brothers, I don't regret that. We were wasting time, many hours of our life gone, in some world in Minecraft, that's, I don't even know where that is now. It's completely gone now, and I have no idea where that is, but I do cherish those moments I had with them. And I think it's important to find that balance between cherishing, the moment, exactly, but then also, realizing that, you're always going to be getting older, So yeah.
There's going to be losing time.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to take up responsibility at some point.
Exactly. Yeah.
And when you're 13 and when you're young, you pretty much almost have no worries at that point.
Yeah, because it's like, you're just carefree. All you need to do is get your schoolwork done, and that's it. You do whatever you want after that.
Yeah, but little do you know that you have responsibilities coming up, and I think it's good to train at a young age to take up more responsibility, because I feel like nowadays a lot of the kids just don't have that kind of concept at all. They don't even want to take up responsibility for just whatever they do. So I think it's important to also, like you said, make sure you
Like
live
find
in
that
the
balance.
moment.
Yeah.
Live in the
Yeah.
moment, but also find the ways to basically prepare for your future, because your future isn't going to be all sunshine and rainbows of like, let's play Minecraft all night, unless
Even
you're
though-
like a streamer or something. But like,
Though we wish it could have been like that.
yeah, I mean, it was like you said, it was super fun playing Minecraft at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And then Jared, his older brother, like, hey guys, let's start a new world, like,
Yeah.
really
Completely just wasting
Wasting
time.
the time
wasting time away.
that we did. I think, like I talked to you about this multiple times. Told you multiple times that, and like you said, is like, even though it's just like multiple times you're like, man, we wasted so much time playing Minecraft, playing video games, like hours upon hours, literally. Maybe sometimes even like all-nighters almost. Staying up almost to like 6 a.m. playing Minecraft and random other games. But then I still do cherish those moments.
Definitely, yeah.
That, like, even though we were wasted a bunch of time, those moments are very precious, I think, and they were really fun times. I don't regret those moments at the same time.
I totally agree. If there was anything the question was, what was the question?
It's like
if we could go back to 13, or what
or
was
it's
it?
like, what would we basically what would we tell our 13-year-old
Yeah,
self?
what would we
Oh,
tell
yeah.
our 13-year-old selves? My question would be like, if there is anything that you could change about your 13-year-old self, what would it be?
Yeah.
Knowing how you are now.
I mean, being a guy, there's there's another thing that's pretty important in our lives that comes about when you're 13, and I would just say that don't like don't worry about that too much, because back then I'm crushing over every pretty girl that walks by me, but then now I don't know what they even look like. And then like, I think it was a girl named Chloe or something.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't even know.
We nicknamed her Slow.
Yeah. See,
Slow.
yeah, these guys, my mentors basically, they're both older than me, told me, take it slow, But
we
made that whole thing.
little
Take it slow.
little did we know.
Moral of the
that
story.
that you're gonna like a moral was gonna come out of it.
Yeah, moral of the story is, don't worry too much about it, because, it's not as important as, as relationships now, because, you grow up and you realize what's actually important. For me, I realized that, spending time with my family and my brothers and my friends is more important than, trying to impress some girl I met at school, right? Like, I've known these guys as far as I can remember, basically. And
Basically,
that girl,
like half your life.
yeah, literally
Yeah,
half of
you're right.
my life. And like, that girl, I don't even know where she is, who she is, if she's even still alive, maybe. I don't know.
Yikes!
But,
Yeah, real talk.
What I'm trying to say is, like, I guess, don't worry. Girls are always going to be there. I'm not, telling you to stop liking girls, because when you're 13, you're definitely going to start liking girls, but don't, worry too much about it. Don't think too much about it. Just remember who your loved ones are and keep them close, kind of thing.
Yeah. It's like so. It's like so weird, because like when I see like 13-year-olds in today's age, like,
Oh, yeah, man.
they're like dating and like having girlfriends and stuff. I'm like, yo, what were we doing when we were 13? Playing
Yeah.
Minecraft.
Playing Minecraft.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Batman Arkham City.
Oh, that was a lot more fun.
I think Batman Arkham City, like, I improved my skills.
Oh,
like, all right, there's 15 guys I have to take out. One has a shield, 3 has blades. I can take out 3 of them. With
it really
the
teaches you to
multi-takedown.
think on your feet.
Right? Like literally every second counts.
And
Yeah.
why stress out about your little 13-year-old girlfriend when you can be playing Arkham Asylum, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Arkham. Good game, by
Like,
the way.
saving Gotham City is so much more important than the girl
Yeah,
at 13 years old.
Besides,
yeah. 13 years old.
13 is, they're not even through puberty yet. You don't even know
Yeah.
what they're going to look like after puberty. It's not worth it,
Yeah.
It really is.
You don't know if they're gonna have a glow up or a glow down. You never know.
Yeah. So yeah. At the end of the day, you just never know.
Yeah, it's just like weird to look at. It's like, what, man? They're so young. Like, you see, like Justin too. Imagine
Oh, yeah.
Justin.
My
having a
13-year-old
girlfriend.
brother. Mm-hmm.
It's like, no,
No
it's
way.
really way too young. Yeah.
How about you, Tim?
Definitely one thing I would tell my 13-year-old self is, like, if you want something, then you have to get off your butt and do it and get it. Get it yourself. Like, for example, it's like, yeah, you're not muscular. So then you have to go get off your butt and go start exercising, for example. It's like, oh, I'm not good at making friends. Then you got to go get off your butt and go talk to people and go out and go to the places that there's people, and then learn how to make friends, make a lot of mistakes. It's literally like, and then I guess right now it's like, if I want to make more money, then I have to get out there and go do it. Get out know what I want and get out there and get what I want.
Yeah, that's good, because that's something, at least for me, that I learned not necessarily later in my life. Like, always had this idea that, like, if you work hard, you'll reap the benefits of working hard. It's just that kind of that general idea, but it only really occurred to me probably like 4 years ago when we first went to Japan. That it was a trip that we planned for 2 years, and it was literally like something that we well, at least I did. I worked towards to every single day. So that kind of like ingrained in my mind that like if you want to do something or you want to accomplish something, work at it every single day. Look, 2 years went by until we actually went.
And those 2 years flew by.
Yeah, and it's crazy how fast it went by. So with all that to say that like look, if you really want something, you go out there and get it, you know? Like obviously like if you want something that's very worthwhile, it's not going to be easy to get.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult to get. And at the end of the day, it's like why anything that's worth having is going to be difficult to get, you know? So that's why at the end of the day, like you want to, you want anything that you want in life, you're going to have to work hard to get it. And it's not going to come easy. And anything worthwhile is not going to come easy. So,
yeah. And I think, when you turn 13, that's, what everybody knows is, the teen years. And I think that, that's when you really realize what it means to grow up from being, a child to actually, having your own life and, having your own responsibilities kind of thing. Like Wes said, things don't come easy, whether you like it or not, you're going to have to work hard sometimes. And I think that, eventually, if you work hard enough and if you keep at it, you're persistent and stuff, it will happen, whether that be, I guess if you really want it, the girl that you're going for, or, more importantly, like, I don't know, trying to mend relationships, but I really think that, Wes brought up a great point there saying that, when you work hard, you'll eventually get there kind of thing. And that, those things that are worth, that are worth a lot and worth having, you're going to have to work for it. But, once you work for it, you're going to, feel accomplished when you finally get that kind of thing,
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, what I would tell my young 13-year-old self is like, it may not seem like a lot of, like I've always been like a hard worker. Like, I've always been like, study for your tests. I was a good student, basically. I knew that if I studied hard for my tests, if I worked hard in, my regular schoolwork, that I would get somewhere. But I just tell my young 13-year-old self trying to get an A in like algebra and like, keep working hard, and eventually like the lessons that you learn from just doing like regular schoolwork and regular, this everyday things, it will pay off eventually. Because like when you're in the moment, when you're young and you're like, what's the point? What's the point of this? In hindsight, I look back, I'm like, wow, that everything that I did when I was younger kind of led up to this point where I am now, where like, look, we're doing a podcast in my house.
in your house.
In my house. Like, that is such a wild thing to think about. Like, if I went back in time and I told myself, my 13-year-old self, like, yo, you're going to be literally 10 years from now, you're going to have a house. You're going to be doing podcasts with your brother and Joshua, that guy you just met last week. Stuff like that. So I tell myself that, like, hey, keep doing what you're doing, and eventually in time, what you're working towards, you'll figure it out and it will come. So
yeah, and I think like all those habits that you established at 13 years old and continually built over the years up to today got you to where you are today.
Yeah. It's that's every incremental move upwards that kind of, I think, that just brought me to where I am now. Just something as simple as like making sure to like daily chores kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, remembering to take out the trash on Tuesdays and Thursdays, It's like something as like mundane and simple as that really trains you for the future too, where like, oh yeah, you got a mortgage payment to pay for now.
Yeah. And I think
Stuff
too,
like that,
like, Wes just said, talking about, chores and stuff. When I was 13, obviously ain't nobody want to do any chores, right? Just want to play, my Pokemon Go or, whatever it may be. But, also, I had chores too as a child. I had to wash dishes, mow the lawn, whatever it may be. But I believe that, it taught me something that I truly believe that is like probably one of the most important things I've learned so far. And that would be like, as we've been talking about hard work, as much as we throw it around, I think that, the skill of, working hard is something not many people have, but like, persevering through, even though it's hard, you keep going kind of thing, even though I wanted to play video games or, I don't know, call these guys or do anything other than, washing those crummy dishes. I learned that, after those crummy dishes, something good will happen. And then now I bring that same principle to my life right now, thinking like, if I work hard, eventually I'll get what I want. And I think that that's a lesson that, everyone should, strive toward and, learn if they can, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think that's very, very important for the at least early years of a lot of people, because a lot of people just don't know, like, they're pampered all their life, like, oh, you don't need to wash dishes, or you don't need any kind of adversity in life, like mowing the lawn, something as simple as that they never develop those skills and like the mindset too, because like you said, like you didn't want to wash dishes. It's not like you enjoyed it, right?
Definitely
but you
not.
still did it anyway, right?
Yeah.
And comparing, us who go through those things and someone who just doesn't go experience that at all, you don't come to the same conclusions we had, that when we were young we hated doing those things. It still helped us in the long run, right? And it developed developed your character
and your mindset
like,
how you think
and how it's like, oh, if I do it now, then I will, I'll be able to play later,
Exactly.
compared to like, I don't want to do it now, I'll have someone else do it. Like a lot of people, not taking responsibility for their actions and their life, essentially.
That hard work and consistency and enduring through hardship is exactly why this guy's ripped.
It is. I mean,
nah.
And look at him.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, I mean, so I think we had a very, very good conversation. Let us know in the comments which you guys wish you knew at 13 years old. And I think, this is a really great discussion because, us at our current age right now, I'm 23, you're 18, Tim, you're like
about
21.
to turn 22.
That is insane.
Insane.
So like, thinking back in our life and, what we've been through thus far, I think is very interesting to think about because, we've learned a lot throughout life. Even though we're only the oldest, 23, I feel like we learned a lot. You don't need to be 65 to say that you went through a lot.
Yeah, and you can be 18 and you still learn a lot.
I mean, compared to when I was 13, I have a complete different mindset and outlook on life now.
Yeah, and would you say it's for the better?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys want to close this here. I think we had a really great discussion.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
But leave us your comments below what you guys wish you knew at 13 years old. It was a great discussion, and we'd love to hear you guys what you guys think in the comment section. So, any last words for today's podcast? Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Cool. Yeah. We'll end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bros Having Convos, and thank you for Joshua being here in this video.
Yes,
we're always it's always a great time when Joshua's around.
Yeah,
my pleasure.
That's what we always say.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this podcast. We'll see you guys in the next one.